Hi kids, Stuart here again at Bromley Town Church. I'm looking forward to Christmas, are you? We're preparing things here, look, but that's for next week. This week we've got Jazz and Claire. And I'm intrigued because Jazz says she's going to be walking through a little bit of plain paper. See you in a minute, guys, bye.
Good morning, BTC Kids. I hope you're all keeping well, and I have today somebody special to help me with the lesson.
Hello!
So today we are going to be doing the last in our series of the miracles of Jesus, and this is a well-known one. But first we're going to do something fun, and this is something which at first seems impossible. So what if I told you that you could walk through this piece of paper? Jazz, would you like to try? Here we go. Careful with the scissors. Can you walk through it? Can you step through it?
No.
No. Okay. Well, let me show you how to do it. So, what seems impossible for us, here we go. Take a piece of paper and fold it in half. We take our scissors and we make a cut along the folded edge up to just before the top. We do that until we've got lots of flaps like that. Then we turn it round and we make cuts on the opposite side in the same way. Don't go right up to the top, and then we do that until we've got lots of flaps. But then we'll leave the ones on the edges. We need to cut the folded bit of all the bits in the middle, leaving one here and at the other end. And now we have a piece of paper that you should be able to step through. There, see? So what seemed impossible to us, it's now easy, right? So Jesus' power is a lot greater than this. He can do anything he wants, including feeding people without even having to go to McDonald's. So today's lesson is all about the story of how Jesus feeds the 5,000. And so this is what we're going to talk about today. So one day it was getting late, and after an exhausting day of teaching and healing, Jesus and his disciples were thinking of a plan to get away from the crowds for a bit. They hadn't eaten at all day and they were really hungry. You guys need some rest, Jesus said. Let's get in the boat and go somewhere where there aren't so many people. So they're headed across the Sea of Galilee, which is really like a big lake. And then they went to a place on the coast named Bethsaida. Now, you remember that Jesus and his disciples almost never got a chance for peace and quiet away from the crowd that followed them. Forget never alone, forever alone. They were never alone. But what would you do if you knew that Jesus was going to be in Bromley tomorrow? I am pretty sure there'd be a huge crowd there waiting just to get to see Jesus. I would definitely be there.
Definitely.
Okay, so unlike people today that go to meet somebody famous and all they want to do is take a photo of them and sell a story or say something about them, they then went to see him because they knew that he could heal people, and they knew that he could teach them so much, and he was probably the best teacher in the whole world. So these people were desperate for Jesus. So on that day, the people did something really crazy just to get close to him. They knew where he was going to go, so they actually ran all along the coast to get there before Jesus did. Jesus was probably crossing from Capernaum, which was about 5 miles away. So, who here has run 5 miles? I mean, I could probably walk 5 miles easily enough, but running for 5 miles, now that's hard. And you think that you were to see a crowd of 5,000 people running like crazy to beat Jesus to the finish line. And just like any race, you hope to get a prize at the end, right? Well, what do you think happened when Jesus got to the shore? Do you think that when he got there, he went and patted them on the back and said, "Well done, here's a ticket to Disneyland"? I don't think so. Well, what he did do though, was he ended up giving them a show that was more spectacular and more memorable than what you could see at Disney World. When Jesus stepped out of that boat, he felt compassion for all the people that were there waiting for him. He said that they were like lost sheep without a shepherd. They needed help and guidance and healing. So as tired as he was, Jesus actually welcomed them all like lost puppies into a loving home. Because who can resist a little puppy, right? Jesus started to teach them about heaven. He healed all of them that were sick in the crowd until it got really, really late. By now, the disciples were pooped. And speaking of doo-doo, they started seeing the people not like those cute puppies, but as stray mutts who often leave packages on your front lawn. So the disciples went to Jesus and they said, "These people have got to go. It is getting late. We are tired and we are hungry, and there is nowhere for the people to find anything to eat or anywhere to stay." And guess what Jesus said? He said, "There is no need for you to send them away. You can feed them." "What?" said the disciples. "Yes, that's what I want you to do. You can feed them." Jesus knew already what he was going to do, but he was testing them. Philip said, "But Jesus, we don't have enough money to buy enough food for all the people here." And it probably would have cost about 6 months worth of someone's money today to be able to buy enough food for the people there. So Jesus said, "Well, look and see if you can find anything." So Philip went to look and find some food. And he found a child who had a little bit of food. So this child had 5 pieces of bread and some fish. But the bread looked more like crackers those days. So the disciples probably thought that it was ridiculous that Jesus was going to start feeding all these people. But Jesus did take the food, and he told the disciples to get the people to sit in groups of 150s. And then Jesus looked up to the sky. He said a blessing, giving thanks to God for the food. And then he broke a cracker. And then he popped it in his mouth. Do you think that's what happened? What did he say?
Yum! Thank you for the food.
No, of course that's not what happened. What really happened is that Jesus kept breaking the bits of cracker again and again and again. And he handed the bits of cracker and the fish to all of the disciples who then gave it to all the people that were sitting in groups. And then, when everyone had finished eating, there were still 12 baskets full of broken pieces of food left over. Jesus was able to do this awesome miracle through God's power. Like when God created the earth, he made something out of nothing. But Jesus didn't do it just to entertain or feed them, although that was important. Why do you think he did it? He wanted the people to know that he is God. And after this had happened, a lot of the people probably started to believe in him. Will you trust Jesus when you see what he's done for you and for others around you? And so as we have spent the last few weeks learning from the Bible, our memory verse, which is,
God is able to do much more than what we could even ask for or imagine. Ephesians 3:20.
Well done. So, thanks for watching. Have a good week, everyone.
Wasn't that great what Jazz just showed us there? And that's God fear, and that's Jesus. He did so many miracles, and it takes us to, as I say, a memory verse. God is able to do far more than we could ever ask for or ever imagine. Right, now we're going to go to worship, guys. Have a great time worshipping God. Bless you.
Walking around these walls, I thought by now they'd fall, but you have never failed me yet. Waiting for change to come, knowing the battle's won, for you have never failed me yet. Your promise still stands, great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands, this is my confidence, you never failed me yet. I know the night won't last, your word will come to pass, and my heart will sing your praise again. Jesus, you're still enough, keep us within your love, and our heart will sing your praise again. your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, We're still in your hands. This is our confidence. You never failed us yet.
Wow, that's great to worship God, isn't it? So just to remember, send in your clips this week, right, to what these memory verses mean for you, and we've got a prize draw for you next week. Looking forward to next week as well, because it's the beginning of our Christmas teaching for this session. Looking forward to all these things. See you all next week, guys. Bye.